Hey guys, it's Dana from Tabitha's Treasures. Just thought I'd get on here and talk to y'all for a little bit. Let y'all have some life updates and updates on what I've been up to. I've got a royal mess surrounding me. Anyway, so a lot of people don't know this about me unless you've been around in my life for quite a while. I've been with Joe now for 11 years, but before I met Joe, I was married to a man who passed away, and I was a widow. He passed in 2007 on Halloween morning, but I was married to him for 10 years. His name is Paul. Yesterday, he would have been 60 years old. It was his birthday yesterday, and I don't care how much time passes by or whatever happens in my life, I'm never gonna forget him, ever. He was my first love. He was my husband. So how could you possibly forget somebody that, you spent every waking moment with practically? Now, don't get me wrong, I love Joe to pieces. I absolutely adore that man, but he's not my Paul. Nobody will ever be my Paul. Nobody could ever replace my Paul. Just like nobody would ever replace my Joe. But I've been getting responses about my comments regarding Paul and how I still feel about him. Just that I shouldn't talk that way, that Joe wouldn't appreciate it, and blah blah blah. But I gotta say, Joe knows everything. He knows all about how I feel. He knows that I still love Paul and I care very deeply for that man still. It's like people don't, I don't know. It's like they think I divorced him or we separated or something, but he passed away and he left not of our own volition were we separated. So, it's totally different than a divorce or a separation. It's not something that either one of us wanted. So, even my own brother said, because I told him I was going to remarry and marry Joe, and he made the comment that, oh, this better be the last marriage. And I was like, wait a minute. I've only been married one time, and he passed away. He died. It's different. It's not like, I'm sorry, I'm getting all emotional. So I posted yesterday on Facebook how I felt, and I got a comment regarding that about how they don't see Joe posting stuff like that about his exes, and I'm like, it's not that Paul is an ex, I mean, like, I know without a shadow of a doubt that we would still be married if he was alive. But he's not. So, I was 34 years old when he passed away, and I had to move on with my life, and I met Joe, and he filled in places that were really empty. And I don't mean to be emotional, but so anyway, that's my life update. I'm really aggravated at certain people for not understanding. I guess it's one of those things you just don't know how to feel unless you've actually been through it yourself, and I still have a lot of heartache. Even though Joe's in my life and he's awesome. He's the most wonderful thing that's happened to me aside from my Paul, and I wouldn't trade him for $1 million. Not for anything in this whole wide world would I trade him. He's been such a blessing to me. He's a wonderful husband, a wonderful provider. And, you know, we have our tiffs just like anybody else does, but he's my husband now, and I respect him, I admire him, I absolutely adore him. And anyway, enough of that. So, yeah, well, this last month has been really hard. For some reason, it seems like everything in this apartment has stopped working at one point or been replaced. There was a leak in the bedroom from where they couldn't figure it out. And I kept trying to tell them, you know, when I first moved in here, the neighbor next door had a drainage issue. It was completely stopped up her drain in the AC, and I get all the backwash. So there was that leaking in the bedroom, and they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. They thought it was our bathroom that was leaking, because our bathroom is right in front of the bedroom, and so that's what they thought. And I kept trying to tell them, it's not my bathroom, it's theirs next door. Well, sure enough, the woman had been putting out wet towels to dry, and she never reported it to the management that she had a leak. She had a leak also, and she never reported it. So anyway, before they would finally listen to me, they ended up taking part of my wall apart. I mean, I had a hole in my wall, and all the way into the closet, which was, such a mess. And then our AC decided just to stop. I've already had a window unit brought over twice, because both times it got up to, I think the first time it got up to like 90 degrees in here, 91 degrees. And this last time, thankfully, we had a rainstorm, so it wasn't quite so hot. And it was like 84 degrees in here still, though. So they brought us a window unit those nights, and I guess apparently they said that every time the wind blows really hard, something on the compressor gets blown off and disconnected. So they have to make sure that they fix that so it doesn't come disconnected anymore. Anyway, so twice already we've had our AC worked on. And then our refrigerator decided to quit. And so she ended up buying, well, the management bought a brand new refrigerator, and instead of coming and taking measurements and deciding, okay, this refrigerator is going to fit or not, they didn't do that. So the maintenance guy ended up cutting a portion of our cabinet that is above the refrigerator. He cut that so that it would fit height wise, but then around the baseboards it was sticking out too far, so he removed the baseboards all the way around the refrigerator in that corner. So yeah, it was that's a mess too. You could actually see where he removed the baseboard, and I'm like, they better not charge me for that when I move out, because that was not my fault. But basically everything that's happened this whole last month has not been our fault. And then check this out, you'll never believe this. Night before last, I heard water running, and I'm like, my cat likes to get up on the counter in the kitchen, and he likes to lay on our stove. Anyway, I thought the cat had turned on the water. So I got up and I went into the kitchen to check, and there is water all over the floor, all in the hallway, flowing into the bedroom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Joe, there's water everywhere. So he gets up and he's looking to see where it's coming from, and our AC vent is on the, it's on the wall, but it's down toward the floor. He opened that, and there's just water pouring down. I mean, a lot of water. And then we noticed it was actually coming out of our wall. Like the door jamb around the bedroom. It was just like it was raining. It just started leaking like it was raining. And I was like, oh my gosh. There must be a pipe that burst or something. And then I was like, no, I literally hear water running. Like, it sounded like there was a faucet turned on. And I told Joe, I said, I wonder if the people upstairs forgot and left their tub on. You know, maybe they overflowed the tub or something. Anyway, to make a long story short, the maintenance guy came, saw the water, and saw that the walls were actually leaking the water. So he went upstairs and knocked on the door, and the little girl answered. There's 4 children. There's a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2.5, almost 3-year-old, and then there's a baby. Well, the 7-year-old answered the door, and he happened to look and see that there was water also all over their floor. So he was like, oh my goodness, little, you know, he said, Mija, look, there's water all over your floor. And she's like, I don't know, you know. So he was like, well, can I look in your bathroom? And so she says, yeah, come in. This little girl invites a complete stranger into the house. That just blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, where are these kids' parents? So, yeah, the maintenance guy goes into the bathroom and he panics. The 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old is in the sink, slumped forward, and she's like got her face almost completely on the counter, which means her face is like real close to the water, and it's just pouring over the side of the sink, like just coming out of the sink. And about that time, I guess the mother heard the commotion, so apparently she was asleep in the bedroom, and she came running out. Well, because the maintenance guy grabbed the little girl out of the sink, he thought she was dead, that she had drowned or something. And I guess when he grabbed her the way he did, like suddenly she woke up and started screaming and crying. Well, naturally. So the mother heard the commotion and she comes running out and she's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And she's like, when I went to sleep, everybody was asleep, and the baby was in the bed with me, asleep, and so she fell asleep too. You know, it's nighttime. They're going to bed. Well, the little girl is allowed to play in the sink with her toys, but supervised. Not this time. She decided to get up in the middle of the night and go in the bathroom and play with her toys in the sink. So, yes, she overflowed the sink, and that poor woman, bless her heart, she is so exhausted. She works so hard. Like, she just had this little baby, like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I guess, and she's already gone back to work. She has to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, get the kids over to either her sister or her mom's or somewhere that, you know, they take them to school or whatever, the oldest one to school, and babysits the other kids. Well, she is all day working until, you know, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And come to find out, her husband also, he's on the graveyard shift, so he wasn't even there when this was going on. And so, yes, I just felt so bad for her. I was like, you know, I wish there was some way that I could help her, like maybe just take the kids off her hands for a few hours so that she could rest, or just have some me time or something, because I can't even imagine. Like, that's got to be super duper hard, you know, just incredible. Anyway, that's been the excitement for the week. Like, I was so afraid, like, it happened on a weekend, and you know, in the middle of the night. It was on 10:30, 11 o'clock at night when this happened, and our floor is, you know, the water is just rising and rising, and nobody's coming, nobody's showing up. I'm calling the hotline and maintenance emergency line, and nobody's answering. I'm leaving messages, and so we have a really, really sweet leasing agent that, you know, she's always text messaging me, how are we doing? Is everything okay? And so she finally messaged me back and said, you know, it's the middle of the night. I don't know who to call because the one maintenance guy that was supposed to be on call, he's asleep, and she can't get him to wake up. Like, she's already been calling him, and he's not waking up. He's not answering the phone. And then she said there was another maintenance guy that lives here on the property, and that if Joe could go over and knock on his door and maybe wake him up. So that's what we did, and, well, needless to say, both of the guys showed up, and they brought the wet vac, and it was thankfully an easy cleanup. I don't really have a bunch of stuff on the floor. I was mostly concerned about my dresser drawers. You know, they're wood and water. Yeah, it just doesn't mix. But anyway, so that's my excitement for the week. And today I did not go to church with Joe this morning because I just do not feel good today. My leg is super swollen. I don't know what I did. Maybe I slept on it wrong. Who knows? And, well, yesterday I had gotten on the Power Wheels and went up to Walmart because I had gotten another tip that some people are having to use the Walmart app that you install on your phone from the Play Store. And you have to actually do a price check. They have like this little scanner that you can do a price check on whatever it is. And so yeah, my Walmart here closest to me does not advertise that they have sales. There's no clue that anything is even on sale. Like, they don't even mark it. They don't mark clearance or anything. They don't, you know, no red tags or nothing. There's nothing saying that there's something for sale here. So you have to kind of take your chances and, you know, get what you want and then go and have it rung up with the cash register. Well, the app is so handy. Like, I was in the middle of the yarn aisle grabbing skeins of yarn and doing the price check on them, and sure enough, hidden in all the new season's colorways are, you know, this handful of marked down, drastically reduced priced mandala and ice cream yarns were on sale. I was like, well, why don't they have this like in a clearance section or something, or clearly marked? Well, anyway, there was a couple of ladies there, and they saw that what I was doing. I was, you know, pulling all the ones that I found out that were on sale or marked down. I was piling them up in this little, you know, like pyramid, and they saw what I was doing, and they were like, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm scanning these skeins of yarn to see if they're regular price or if they're marked down. And they're like, why are they marked down? And I was like, some of them are actually marked down. And I said, but you wouldn't know it. There's nothing to, I mean, it's not obviously clear that anything's marked down. So anyway, we were in Walmart yarn aisle throwing skeins of yarn back and forth to one another, and yep, this one's on sale, or nope, this one's not on sale. And we were putting them in like a little pile, just like this little pyramid pile, and it was a lot of fun. I had a good time. So anyway, I ended up getting 6 cakes of mandala that were $2.50 a piece, and I got the serpent and sphinx colorway, and then the Lion brand ice cream yarn was on sale for $1.50 a skein. And I have never had the Tutti Frutti, so I got, I believe, 5 skeins of Tutti Frutti for $1.50. And then I had already gotten one skein of cookies and cream when Joe went for me and got me some of the yarn that was priced marked down at the other Walmart. Anyway, he brought me one of those. So I saw that there was a couple more up there, so I grabbed a couple more skeins of that. And then I found one lonely little skein of red heart stripes in the colorway Cool Stripes. And it was $1.50, so I grabbed it. It was the only skein they had of that one, so I just like, okay, I'll grab that one. So anyway, yeah. What else? I've been making baby hats out of all my little balls of yarn. I have some that are much smaller than this little ball that I've got to hold. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, reach down here and get it. I put them in this in these jars that I save. I just fill them up with all these little balls that, you know, I can't use them for anything else. So I'll either use them for flowers or baby beanies or pom-poms or, you know, something small. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm making little baby hats out of, you know, the lighter colors, baby shades, and yeah. And I'm not going to show them to you because I haven't woven in any tails. So all of them still, I have a whole box full, and I'll probably do that when I go over and visit Sylvia again. I usually take a box of things that I haven't finished or need their tails woven in. So that's what I take with me to work on when I'm over at Sylvia's. So yeah, I'll probably do that when I go over there again. And what else? I have pulled out some of my pattern binders, and I'm going to go through and find projects that I can pair up with some yarn. So this is my shawls, ponchos, wraps, shrugs. Anyway, I'm going to go through these binders and find patterns that I think will pair up nicely with some of this yarn that I have acquired lately, and see what I can find. And I also got at Walmart this crochet planner. Let me see it. It says crochet planner on it very lightly right there. Anyway, these are normally priced at $12.97. That's why I've never bought one before. I think they're really interesting, and I think I could really use it to keep track of some of the more intricate things that I want to work on, like the shawls and the shrugs and such. So anyway, it was marked down to $5, but you wouldn't know it. There was no indication whatsoever that this was on sale. I used my little price checker scanner thing, and sure enough, it was on sale for $5. So I got it. Yep, I got it. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm just going through some patterns and trying to pair it up with some yarn that I have available that excuse me. Just going through patterns and trying to figure out which ones I want to do and what yarns that I can put with it. And oh yeah, the squares that I showed the other day, that the half double crochet squares, I started to put single crochets around the squares. I mean, it's alright. I guess it's alright, but I don't know, I'm not really fond of it. I guess it's because the yarn that I'm using, you know, to do single crochets, it's really thick and tight, and I should probably use a bigger hook, but it wouldn't look right with the squares. So I went ahead and just left that. So anyway, that's a work in progress. I'll get to it one of these days. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm up to, guys, and sorry about the emotional drama there in the beginning, but it's just something that I really wanted to get off my chest and talk about. And so yeah, thank you all for watching and bearing with me, and thank you to all the new subscribers. I've had a little bit of a jump in subscriptions lately, and I'm really thankful for that. So like I said, I am going to have a little giveaway, a pattern giveaway, once I hit 100 subscribers, and it will be a Ravelry pattern, probably between $5 and $10 maybe, but I'm not sure. It's still, you know, I'm still trying to work out how much I can do, and you know. So that's it for today, you guys, and I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend and have a good week ahead, and I will talk to you all real soon. Bye.